Ladies and gentlemen, this is an unprofessional stream with two of my favorite people, and of course, number one, Stefanie MacWilliams, the right millennial, one of my favorite friends, and probably like Steph. If I'm gonna like rate my friends in life in the entire Western Hemisphere, you're probably number one. See?
Oh, I love you all. That's so cute. My heart.
But you'll drop to like 25 when we include the entire world. But still,
the best of the West.
Best of the West, hands down. Best of the top
Love
two Western people, hands down, done. and number two, we have the god of Bloodsports himself. He's here, guys. Like, this is beyond an honor. We have cheered for him. We have seen him kick some alt-right ass. Ladies and gentlemen, Halsey English is here.
That I am.
The man
Awesome.
himself.
I love it.
Kicking ass all over YouTube, and we were just talking about YouTube, who will definitely take down the stream when I say something stupid.
No,
Or a
they'll probably
couch.
keep it up. I mean, as long as we don't worship the KKK or anything, they'll probably be okay with it.
Oh no, I don't
You
worship the KKK. Do you worship Stefanie? Have you have any trouble on YouTube until now? Everything's fine, right?
No, I've never. The only thing is like I've been having trouble with the monetization, but I think that might have been my own fault. So I don't think so. But I think I'm just small and irrelevant enough that nobody's really come to like bother me yet. They would have a problem with a lot of my streams.
I imagine the day when you get retweeted a lot and someone big retweets you, and you get big and you get big, and you're like, yes, I am finally big on YouTube. Channel taken down.
Don't tell me that. Ben Shapiro retweeted me, but it wasn't my show or anything.
Oh yeah, Ben Shapiro retweeted that thing about women and a man is needed, something like that. I forgot what the exact quote was.
It was a very Ben Shapiro approved quote. I'm the innocent good one here. I'm going to try while drinking, which is my problem. I'm trying to swear less because Dawson has definitely said, oh, fuck, so many times now, and I need to stop swearing, so he stops. But whenever I drink, I start swearing, so you are a terrible influence.
He's asleep, right? He's asleep. Everything is fine right now.
Oh, yeah, he's asleep.
I just swear a lot.
I know
I'm drinking too. But here is
Halsey and I will be on the phone. Halsey and I will be on the phone, and he'll be like, what the fuck? And I'm like, yeah.
So yeah, we were saying that since private videos are getting flagged, that's definitely an algorithm. An algorithm that goes through every single word we're saying and somehow detects like signals, or because no fucking way, no matter how Google is good, an artificial intelligence will detect sarcasm. So since that's done, like the flagging will be all over the backlog of everyone, because I can get flagged if I get scanned. Probably like Stefanie, I'm small with like 100 subscribers, so nothing will happen. Maybe after Andy works me, that's about it.
I think a lot of people, the reason they're getting flagged and they're setting off the algorithm is more because they're backlinking on their social media and on their YouTube page to links that set off the algorithm. Like, I don't think that our previous writer who got in all kinds of trouble would have gotten in as much trouble as she did if she wasn't backlinking to the Daily Stormer and places like that. Like that's how they get you.
But they're backlinking to that stuff on other social media platforms, not on YouTube.
Well, because they don't have to wonder what you're saying if you say something like, "Oh, I hate black people," right? It could as easily be a joke as it could be serious.
Exactly.
So they actually have to review it if the algorithm picked up to see what context it was used in, most likely. You know, even if they do put a strike against you, you can appeal it and say, no, this is what I really meant.
But
if you're backlinking...
Sorry. The first one is all automated. It's not like a manual review, a real human being at Google, right?
Right, but I'm saying you could at least appeal it and say, no, this is what happened, and then someone will look at it. But if you're backlinking to places like the Daily Stormer and places like that, it doesn't matter what you say.
Oh yeah,
like they've got you dead to rights right there. So
I think
at that point, you can't get anymore.
I think I got in trouble on Facebook because I was linking stuff to a friend about like the Mouthy Buddha videos, and the suspension wasn't because those links, but after I linked those, there were suspensions because of other pictures and other stuff. Like they leave the AI on you like a dog once you link to that stuff, but the AI finds something else. Finds something extremely irrelevant. Or I literally got suspended 7 days because after linking to that stuff for like a picture of a nipple or something, like nothing. It's irrelevant to the thing that they started with, but that's how they get you. But Halsey, what do you think of the people blaming the new rise of debates on YouTube and Bloodsports for this purge on YouTube?
I don't personally think it has anything to do with it. I don't even think they would pretty much say that. The Bloodsport debates, I mean, they don't like the fact that certain people that they've deplatformed a long time ago, and you know, I'm trying to think of some other, like sometimes Baked Alaska, people like that, like they've kicked them off every social media platform there is. So when all of a sudden they're appearing in these Bloodsports, even if they get the hell beat out of them, the YouTube and Google algorithms, they really come at you more for, you know, the fact that you platformed these people. Like, I mean, the debate I had with Mark Collette last Thursday, I mean, that's already been marked as sensitive, and Andy's having a real hard time like even playing it. It won't show how many people have done it. It's completely demonetized. Like, and there's not much you can do about it. But as I said, I think that's more about who they're platforming. But I think this is more about, you know, they're moving into the election period. They want to make sure they can silence whoever they want. So this is how they're going to do it.
Yeah, but when you said no matter if they're getting their ass kicked, that's my problem. Like, if someone platforms an alt-righter and you kick his ass, I want that video to be shown. Like, I am like you when it comes to like the opinion of, I want you guys to speak. Nick, I want you to speak as loud as possible so that more people would hear you and hear how stupid you are. I'm like in that mood of I want them to speak. So it's weird, like, yeah, and that's why I love you. Like, I seriously love that attitude, because the other attitude of fighting anti-Semitism really pisses me off. Like, you guys are driving the conspiracy series to the point that it makes
like the ADL, like,
you know what I mean?
Way. Yeah,
the ADL type way, because
or the like, let's make a bunch of laws to make being an anti-Semite piece of shit illegal. Like, it just makes. Then they're like, you can't deny the Holocaust, eh? It's a conspiracy. Like, it only makes them extra crazy. It makes them extra crazy. It's a bad idea.
It also confirms all of their nonsense that they like to put out there, because you'll say, no, this is not a Jewish conspiracy. You're just an asshole, and they'll say, yeah, but then why am I banned from everywhere? It must be my ideas, you know, because everything with them is about their ideas. Like, they feel like they're so brilliant and have come up with this brand new, you know, thing. So when we say, no, it has nothing to do with your ideas, just nobody wants to listen to you, they say, oh, well, then why did they ban me? You know what I'm saying? Because they are like, they say that about Andrew Anglin all the time. Like, why would he be so banned if his ideas weren't, you know, on point? So it's really just shooting themselves in the foot. But I think the left wants these boogeymen out there. You know what I'm saying? They want to be able to say, oh, we're deplatforming these people because they're dangerous and because they're Nazis and they don't deserve free speech and all of this. But I think they're just doing it to create an enemy. You know what I'm saying?
I think that, like, I don't know. I think that,
Halsey, you were skipping out a minute ago, so I turned off my camera so that if my internet is screwy or something. But now I think it's good.
Third world.
As to what you were saying,
what I was saying was, I think that the left. I think the left wants this to happen more and more and more. They want to be able to point to people and go, oh, look, these are the dangerous people we told you about. So we're deplatforming them because we're really good people, you know, and they don't care that they're making them stronger because they think it'll get more people on their side.
That proves how disingenuous they are. They don't care if they're making them stronger. And the thing that really tragic is actually a friend of mine, I saw him, like an American friend of mine, I saw him changing slightly to the basic steps of taking the red pill. Oh my God, I was a liberal my whole life. I thought this and I thought that. And he was making fun with me at expense of the alt-right and the white supremacists. But when he made that Jewish joke and he got suspended, he was like in the mood of, oh my God, what if they're right? Like that triggers something. That triggers some anger in some people if they get censored or banned. That, oh, what if all of the bullshit about the Jewish question they're saying is right because of the ADL and the SPLC have banned me too.
That's my point.
Sad about this whole thing.
Right. Is that it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You know, we say that, no, this isn't the case. And then they say, well, then how come I'm banned? And people that have taken the red pill are already impressionable. They're looking for answers in a place that isn't normal. You know what I'm saying? Because they all of a sudden discovered they were lied to for so long. So for us to then come out and say, no, it's not this, it's this, they're not buying it. So, you know, and that's a tough one. That's
and Halsey, I always like want to grab these people before going more alt-rightish by saying, yeah, you're right. There is a group of people that is censoring. They're called leftists. They're
called Marxists. Yeah,
like because they're smart enough to see there's something going wrong. Like there's someone censoring me. There's topics cannot be discussed, but they're wrong about naming that group that they don't know about. Like they name them the Jews, and I, in my head, call them the leftists, the American leftists. I think I grabbed one of those people I play game with before going to the alt-right by specifically stating that your conspiracy theories are kind of true, but I just moved them to be called the left, not the Jews. And that works more than there is nothing wrong, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, that's
true.
Well,
I get that question, especially after my debates. I get a lot of it from people on the alt-right who said they were never comfortable with the Jewish question or anything like that. And they say, I don't understand why, if the left, even if it is all Jews, is such an enemy, why are we not like gathering up everybody who agrees with us to take on these people? You know, like, why is it that we're
right-wing Jews?
Yeah.
Why? That's a weird question. Why wouldn't the alt-right ally with right-wing Jews?
Yeah. I mean, you would think that they would. I mean, Jared Taylor says all the time that they should. So, I mean, it's a case
I've heard him say that in his great accent, no less. You know.
Yeah.
People blame the Jews when it rains on their birthday. I love listening to Jared Taylor talk. I can't do it well.
Why?
Did you just try and do a white accent? Literally within 30 seconds of this stream off camera, just so you guys know, I made fun of Omar's accent literally 2 minutes. Every time I say his camera sucks, his like beer or his wine looks stupid. He's like,
but listen,
I'm in a third world country.
The Lebanese got me Cape Bay special edition red wine, okay? So not everything is bad. I got something good out of it. Thank you so much, Steph. Your first world problems with Canada and people kind. That's your like big. We have wars over here. God damn it.
Worse than you. It's your go-to response. Like, I'm in a third world country, Stefanie.
Stefanie, seriously, the opinion of the world over here of Justin Trudeau is just like hilarious. Like, who is this guy and can we kick his ass? And like, is he 12? Like, it's so they can't believe, like, even when they hated Obama, even if the guys over here who hate Trump, it's like it's still the president of the United States of America. With Trudeau, it's always like he says something stupid and he's just, oh, Canada, come on. Like, it's like
it's Justin from Canada, basically.
Yeah. Justin from Canada.
They don't. He's not authoritative. He's just like some guy. There's a video of him I posted on my Twitter today of him talking about like trade deficit or something. It is literally. Oh my god! Physical secondhand embarrassment watching that man talk. Like it's just
so fucking.
It's unreal.
You know what's weird? That 1 minute clip of him deficit like America is way more embarrassing than all of the Trump stuff, in my opinion. Because the Trump stuff, even when he's like outlandish and stupid, there's still a sense of authority, or he's like, at least he thinks he's in control of what he's saying. Like, he's confident. Like, you know what I mean? Like, Trump, even when he's an idiot, he's a confident idiot, if you know what I mean, and that gives a sense of
not in control of what he's saying. He knows what he's doing.
Exactly, he knows exactly what he's doing.
Right, he comes off as maybe being a little stupid because he's out there triggering people, but he knows what he's doing. Like even when he sounds stupid, it has a purpose.
So Halsey,
yes.
Do you believe in the 4D chess Trump is a total genius manipulator stuff, or you think that's just his character that he can trigger people?
I spend too much time in the Middle East to stop giving any credit whatsoever to 4D chess.
Yeah,
because that's what everybody says in the Middle East when it looks like something really bad is going on. They go, "Well, he's really doing it because of this," and then they come up with this whole game plan, and it never turns out to be true. Never. It's always like, no, he's just cucking out. Like it's just the way that it is. So I don't give a lot of credit to it.
Yeah, and
that he's thinking 20 moves ahead.
And 4D chess in general, I don't even think it can be done if we're dealing with a genius. Like a genius can't predict the next 2 months in politics. Like
a genius can't predict human behavior. You know what I'm saying? We'd like to think that they can, but they can't.
People will do. It's all about everything that they say. Like, even if they're right about some of the things, like say Trump really was thinking this through and trying to do X secret move chess. So many dimensions, 20D chess. Like, even if that were the case, it doesn't mean that other people are going to act in the way he would want them to.
Right.
And we see this and I think especially you would know this in the Middle East, that is always the thing. And it's like, people don't understand how people are going to react to this. And they just are kind of expecting one thing and then everyone does something else and they're shocked. They're shocked, I tell you, like the Arab Spring. Like, really? This was a shit show? Like, really? Like,
who would have thought?
When
you take out dictators that the Muslim Brotherhood won't do anything stupid.
Out dictators that rule their countries with an iron fist, that all of a sudden it's not going to go so well. Who would have ever thought that?
I had no idea. Like, even me, 1 month in, I was kind of had this bit of hope. Then I just saw the Salafis and the Muslim Brotherhood planning shit, and I was like, Mubarak, I'm sorry.
Well, I think half the country was like, "What did we do?" We can't come out and say we like Mubarak, but at the same time, we can't hide the fact that like we're going down a toilet. We have to do something.
And even we didn't fully go down a complete toilet because it's just 1 year of Muslim Brotherhood. Libya and Syria are totally fucked because of the Arab Spring in ways that I don't even know. I don't even know how will be the steps to like complete it. Like whenever people talk about like Gaddafi and that fucking video from Hillary laughing at his death, like all what's in my head is just Libya is gone. Like that video of Hillary really pisses us off. You have no idea. Like during the elections in 2016, everyone was like, Trump said grab them by the pussy, and we were like, Hillary was laughing at the fall of Libya. Like, what? Let them grab them by the pussy. Like, it was nothing. The Trump stuff didn't piss me off.
Yeah.
Seriously, Jesus. Like, and it all went shit. But the Trump thing about like the 4D chess and stuff, I think it just happened by chance that some of his instinct gut moves just worked for him perfectly in a way that just like during the elections, the way he handled all the Republican candidates lying Ted and stuff worked perfectly. The way he handled this worked perfectly. The way he handled even the one airstrike on Syria, but not a total war, that got the media on his campaign, and people didn't know, didn't think, thought less that he's a ally of Russia. And there's so many examples of things that he does that I can understand why people go down the rabbit hole of the 4D chess. Because it just worked for him.
My theory for that is because I think that Trump, in a way, he acts more. I think it's almost a kind of like, I mean, this is going to sound weird to talk about Trump, but I think he acts in a moral sense, right? Not that I think his morals on the personal level are great. It's more that I think when he looks at things, he goes, like he would look at like Israel-Palestine, and he's not sitting there thinking like, oh, well, what do the academic books about the relations between these people say? He looks at it and goes, these people are fucking bombing people. These people aren't fucking bombing people. And then he just, like, he goes from there. And I feel like he does that same stuff with the campaigns. Like, he just, when he's coming from that point, he looks at things in terms of, like, good and bad instead of looking at things from a kind of, like, oh, everything's really good. Everything's the same. Like, these people just must be, you know, misguided. He just kind of like goes from that point. And I think more than it's shocking how often that works.
My multicultural intellectual. Yeah,
they
definitely.
Said that the smartest presidents in history have always been the worst. And that's because they think things through too much. Someone like Trump just trusts his gut.
Yeah,
you know
it's instinct.
And that winds up usually being a good thing. Now, it can be a bad thing sometimes, but when you elect someone because you trust them to run the country, you want someone who's got a good sense of instinct. You know what I'm saying? When you elect someone like Obama, who was supposed to be the smartest thing ever, you know, he thinks through everything, and just you could see the disastrous results that come from it.
Yes, definitely. I mean, Halsey, of course, you know how much I hate Obama as an atheist in Egypt. Like, you know, it's personal to me. Like, I've got beaten up by the Muslim Brotherhood, and that son of a bitch was sending them money and aid. Like,
yeah,
and
there is no.
And I have to say, held by Osama bin Laden as a baby.
Oh,
my favorite Omar anecdote.
Don't say that. Nobody knows.
They don't know?
No. I mean, people know, but it's every time I remember it, holy fucking shit. Halsey was held by Osama bin Laden as a baby.
I'm sorry, Omar. I brought up your secret shame.
Jesus fucking Christ. Why I was in Saudi Arabia, God fucking damn it, fucking Saudi Arabia. As I was saying about Obama before Steph told you guys about Osama bin Laden. I hated Obama so much that in 2016 I was literally inside the 4chan alt-right, all the bullshit, just because it's anti-Obama. Like, I was that guy. I was that troll. Yeah, because when it comes to like and to be honest, guys, there was an actual fear from Hillary. Like, she scares me. She scares me not simply because no-fly zones. She scares me because a terrible relationship with Russia is something to you guys is just, oh, we're in bad relations with Russia. But to the rest of the world, there is proxy wars will go on. Like, the Cold War was just cold for the Soviet Union and the United States. It was warm for everyone else. We get fucked in the middle, if you know what I mean. So my main goal in the politics of Russia and the United States, not specifically pro Putin or pro Trump. It's specifically pro good relations. Please, God damn it, be good with each other. That's all I care about. So when Hillary started shitting all the Syria stuff and no-fly zones and arming the Kurds even more and arming fucking Jabhat al-Nusra, which is Al-Qaeda, all that stuff, and in early 2015, once Russian Air Force was in Syria, there is a 0% chance of Bashar losing power. Like, anything you do after that point of supporting rebels, even if they're secular, I'm not even, like, not get me started that Obama supported Islamic terrorists, but even if you support the Free Syrian Army, which was secular, there is no point of the civil war in the first place. Bashar will never fall once Russia's there. And they kept supporting rebels for a year and a half for no reason. That really pissed me off. That's just war for the sake of war, because Putin pissed me off. Putin crossed the red line, so I need to do something so people won't say that I said red line and I didn't do anything. That was like total bullshit that pissed me off, and I got really scared if Hillary continued that for another 4 years. So I was doing every single thing I can okay, Trump, I don't even care about Trump, but my anti-Hillary percentage was 100%.
Well, it's like I always say, before Obama, Jews and Muslims could go into the Sinai for vacation, right? Yeah. Now neither of them can.
Tell me about it. I was
told by the Muslim Brotherhood and ISIS.
North Sinai until now is fucked. The military got hold of everything to the south because they care about the tourists and they don't want any Americans to die in Egypt because they get them in trouble. So Sharm el-Sheikh, Dahab, all the stuff in the south is totally safe. And the military couldn't handle the ISIS affiliate called Ansar Bayt al-Maqdis to the point that they just left the desert for them and made a parameter around where they are so that they won't go neither cross the Suez Canal and come to Cairo or go to South Sinai. So basically, until now, until today, we have a piece in Sinai that is controlled by ISIS. The only thing the military did is they can never get out, period. That's about it. We didn't get rid of them. All of that is because of Muslim Brotherhood, Qatar, Obama.
Yeah.
And
for sure.
let's blame Qatar for a lot of Muslim Brotherhood shit. And remember, Steph, when I told you, like, yeah, Al Jazeera. Remember when I told you the alt-right should care more about the Arab question than the Jewish question?
Yeah, that's the thing. He's always saying, he's like, no, he's like, for real though, talk about the Jewish question, but I have a real one. You need to talk about the Arab question.
Seriously, I'm looking at Saudi Arabia and Qatar. Qatar is just going upward and controlling a shitload of stuff in your countries, by the way. And I don't see this major fuss about it. Like, how can you guys, like, not only AG Plus, like in every single media, they have this program and that program and that. I mean, Saudi Arabia is just oil and we know its story, but no one talks about how Qatari money in media is influencing everything. And people don't even know AG Plus is Al Jazeera to begin with, let alone I tell them, yeah, it's fucking insane. And let alone I can tell them that, listen, guys, every single mainstream media outlet that reports on the Middle East, the report starts from something from Qatar and Al Jazeera, which is not credible and lying in the first place. So even if MSNBC and CNN is innocent, let's say, and I don't think they are, but even if their main sources are coming from reporting done by Qatar, it's nonsense. And there is no other media powerful enough in the Middle East to even challenge it. Jesus, I can tell you guys, like I reviewed some stuff to see which media outlet talking about the Middle East is the most accurate, and none of them were accurate. But RT was way more accurate than CNN, MSNBC, Al Jazeera, RT, Russian TV.
Tom says that all the time.
Every single time, RT gets it right. RT, like, okay, forget about Syria, of course, because they have a hand in that game.
You have to look at where they're. Yeah, if they're. I've actually seen that with RT as well. It's the stuff they are very dishonest about stuff that like would benefit them to be dishonest. But when you look at stuff that isn't so related to them, it's kind of just like, okay, Al Jazeera is wrong about everything they do.
No, Al Jazeera, don't get me started. I have videos of people with ketchup. Like remember the guy with ketchup sitting on the floors? The Muslim Brotherhood victim in ketchup. Okay, but
sorry,
I will send you that video.
Interrupting. I'm sorry.
No problem. It's hilarious, and I'm getting drunk too. The wine is fucking good, and it's been a while. As I was saying, the RT stuff. It's so you said avoid Syria. So if you want to know more about the Cold War between Saudi Arabia and Iran, Russia technically, even if it's pro-Iran slightly, has no dog in the game that much. RT covered it correctly. RT covered things in Egypt in 2013 correctly. Like the videos that even Trump retweeted, the one from Egypt, like the very first time it was shown in media was in 2017 because Trump retweeted it and it's fake. Guys, the Muslim Brotherhood were throwing people off of rooftops in Alexandria. Like my friend was there. Nobody reported it, but oh no, Trump retweeted false information. It's not false. It's just 4 years late, maybe.
Well, they got really upset with the person who Trump retweeted, who's a friend of mine. That's Jada Franson. So,
seriously, you know her?
Yeah. Oh, we've interviewed her what? 10 times on the network. Like I speak to her like 3-4 times a week. Yeah, Jada's a good friend. She's about to go to prison, but she's a really good friend.
Oh Jesus.
I don't 100% agree with her political party. And like, I mean, I have a couple things where I feel like she's kind of wrong on Islam. but she like is not like a Nazi or anything. And like her organization, like the stuff they posted that Trump tweeted, it's like they just like got like some of the top like stuff wrong, but it was still shit Muslims were doing. Like it wasn't like, you know what I mean? Like they just kind of like got the wrong thing, like the wrong place and time, which obviously isn't great, but come on now. Like you're really
my question on that day was, if this is giving a bad image of Muslims, why the blame is to Trump, not the Muslim Brotherhood doing this?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, if we're gonna blame someone of giving bad image to the Muslims, let's blame the Muslims making shit that give Muslims a bad name. Like, how can retweeting like that it's so weird to me, because something is literally replaying stuff that happened.
Yeah.
Don't you guys care about what actually happened, not the replaying part? It's so weird.
It is extremely weird that they got mad at Trump for retweeting something that was actually happening, as opposed to being upset with the people who were doing it.
Yeah, and of course, I didn't know about Britain First, and I didn't know anything about the other two videos. But that third video from CD Gaber Alexandria, I knew very well because my friend was there, and I know the guy, the name of the guy, with like the white top and the beard, and we executed that guy like a few months later. Like, I mean, it's not like I feel like some people over here are more woke about the Muslim Brotherhood and Islamic terrorism than the mainstream media in America, if you know what I mean.
I would say everyone there is more woke about the Muslim Brotherhood and the mainstream media than they are here. I mean, they have no idea what they're even talking about.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, it's so far gone. Nobody has any clue. And I constantly talk about it.
Steph's face is like, I give up. I tried.
I won't give up. This is a war, and I'm gonna just keep going with it. But it's so frustrating. You guys know I talk about this stuff all the freaking time. No matter how much evidence, no matter how much I explain to people, no matter like I literally be like, look at this document from the Muslim Brotherhood in America. And they're just like, conspiracy theory.
No, Steph, that was a document from the Muslim Alliance Student Council. It's named something cute. We have to name them something cute like care. They care.
They care.
Aww.
They care.
They're so cute.
With the tongue roll and everything.
So back to the Arab question, guys. The AQ. The AQ question is really important. Yeah, the AQ is important because the petrodollar is controlling way more than, like, one thing about the alt-right saying Jews controlling everything. Even if what they're saying is true, there are other major powers in the world that is definitely controlling way more than the Jews. Like, forget Arabs. Like, China. China is controlling the world more than all the Jews combined right now. But I mean,
that goes without saying. I mean, what? There's 12 million Jews in the world. Half of them are in Israel. Half of them are in America. And there's like less than 1% of the rest of them are scattered throughout the world. So they're claiming that Europe, Asia, Latin America, and the Middle East are completely controlled by the Jews when they make up so little bit of the population you wouldn't even notice them there.
Yeah, and even Halsey, let's assume that control over the media is Jewish, control over this is the APAC lobby, whatever. It's still 1% of the major powers controlling the world. What's the opinion of the alt-right about Qatar, Saudi Arabia, China, North Korea, Russia? I mean, you know what I mean? It's so...
Yes, but it's not like they've looked into any of that.
Oh, yeah.
Like they can't. Because if they look into any of that, then they have to admit that something might be true that they didn't read on, like, altright.com or something like that. So they would never look at a source that isn't fully approved by their moron leaders first.
Oh, Jesus. I can't believe that some Americans in the alt-right remind me more of Palestinians in Gaza than Americans.
Well, that's
quite the insult.
Where they get their strategy from. But that's kind of where they get their strategy from, is they look at the way that the Arabs and Palestinians and Muslims have done it, and they say, oh, we could do that. You know what I'm saying? Like we could just act crazy and people will pay attention to us, but they don't realize that they're shooting themselves in the foot when they say we're the master race. Nothing we do is wrong. We're peaceful and loving, and we just want to build society. And then they say, yeah, but if you don't give us what we want, we'll go crazy and kill you all. And no one believes them because they don't actually do it. You know,
no, they don't actually do it. And by the way, Halsey, I'm really not scared of the alt-right. I am like one thing in defense, and not in defense of the alt-right. What's it called? Like, to the point of people telling people not to worry about the alt-right is they don't have any power, they won't have any power, they won't do anything, just forget it. Charlottesville was one time. Like, I actually believe that stuff. I don't think there's a major current threat from the alt-right. I am all for platforming them and kicking their arguments and everything. But to me, when I look at America, it's still the major powers are leftists and the current Trump administration. Maybe that's about it. I don't think. Do you think that I mean, do you view in the next 4 years the alt-right getting anything done?
I don't think that the alt-right by themselves is such a problem. What I think is a problem is that in America there are three pillars of Marxism. There's Islam, there's the alt-right, and then there's the SJWs. Yeah. So the danger is that they all find an issue like anti-Semitism to like kind of agree on, and then they have power together.
Yeah,
you know
power together is, yeah, I know what you're saying, but the power together is weird because they're supposed to really hate each other. I mean, come on, these are the alt-right, the racists who hate Muslims and are anti-immigration, who don't want Muslim culture in their white ethno-state. I mean, how the hell are they so in common with anti-Semitic Muslims? Like, it's so...
But ask the same question about SJWs. I mean, they're supposedly pro-women, they're supposedly pro-gay, they're supposedly all for like gay rights and all of this stuff, and yet they butt fuck Israel. I mean, Islam every day, just like with pure joy of how great they are. Like all you ever see on the TV is Islam is great. We can't give in to Islamophobia and all this stuff. Is like that word even exists, you know. And then they come out and say, oh well, this is who we are. So the idea that the alt-right could find a way to work with them, I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, Hitler found a way to work with the Arabs.
Yeah.
So exactly. If Hitler could do it, they could do it, you know?
They definitely would. They would make up something about the current major threat are those goddamn Jews taking us down, so the Muslims will help us on it.
Yeah, we'll work with them.
Crazy alt-righter thinking that you're right. Which is, and by the way, when I said in 2016, I was the troll on 4chan because my priority was Hillary has to lose. I actually, Halsey, and this might be my ignorance, I actually thought that all of those accounts are trolling and not for real white supremacists, if you know what I mean.
There's
like I thought,
but at the time it was like that. The alt-right was not a real thing. I mean, like the alt-right was basically headed by like Milo Yiannopoulos.
Exactly, that was the time.
You know but now, I mean, they wouldn't even speak to Milo. You know what I'm saying?
What I would say is like it actually, like the way you look at like the movement, like the way the alt-right kind of, you know, was created is interesting because, you know, the alt-right as a white nationalist movement, even defined as the alt-right, predated that, right? Like the Richard Spencer coined the term in like 2012, and there were these few core people that were talking about this. They called themselves the alt-right, but they were so entirely irrelevant. Then you had people like Milo Yiannopoulos and Breitbart kind of claiming the alt-right label, and what the alt-right kind of became was like the kind of trolling, like memeing on the left, mega crowd, keck memes, you know. That kind of became the alt-right. Like they used that huge amount of people calling themselves alt-right, and they encouraged that because they wanted to broaden how many people were alt-right. And then over time, it's like they've now kind of been like, wait, the alt-right is totally this, and now it seems like there's so many people who are alt-right. Like you said, I think the vast majority of people that were calling themselves alt-right at the election were not at all part of what is now the alt-right.
Look at me.
Yeah, you're not. Yeah, the alt-right Arab.
Well, like, to be honest, guys, I was so in the mood of fuck Hillary to the point that even if they're not sarcastic, Hillary can't win. Like, I don't even care.
You're like, yeah, we can have a white ethno state.
I'd rather have actual racists than Obama and Hillary again. Like, I want a racist in the White House right now, not Hillary. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ. But
Clip.
clip.
Thank you, Jay. We're clipping that right there. I want an actual racist in the White House.
Come on, we're gonna blow. The Middle East would go to ruin and millions will die. What can I say? Racist, racist. I don't care.
No, I'm with you. Honestly,
Yeah,
I'm with you.
Who cares?
I don't want that, but this is like you have to start with what you're working with, and the problem, you know what? Like you're going to elect an actual racist. What actual racist that would have possibly been elected in 2016 could do anything? Hillary and Obama can actually do evil things that hurt people. That's the difference. It's not just what they believe; it's what they can do
in foreign policy. Like I didn't really care, guys, about the actual internal policies of the US at all. Like I was fuck Hillary Clinton to the point that in the primaries I was cheering for Bernie as much as I can.
Oh, I went a step further. I changed my voter registration to Democrat so that I could vote for Bernie. Because I wanted I wanted to see the debate between him and Trump.
Yeah, Bernie and Trump. And if Bernie won the Democratic primary, I just wouldn't care about the American election. Done. Bernie, Trump, who cares? Like, I mean, you guys care because he's a fucking socialist. I know. Don't get me wrong. But to me, foreign policy-wise, my main point was Hillary can't be president of the United States. It's just can't happen. I'm genuinely scared. And that's about it. Other than that, that was my part in the so-called alt-right. Then early 2017, when the so-called civil war on the alt-right happened, and there was such a thing as alt-light and alt-right, and Lauren Southern and the Milo guys were civic nationalists. That's when, okay, so the chunk that was left called alt-right, they're for real. I was realizing that, oh my God, they're not all trolls. That was a realization to me, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people came to that realization at some point.
Yeah.
There's a lot of trolls, don't get me wrong, but they're not just a bunch of useless trolls.
And seriously, the racism and Jewish conspiracy stuff was, to me, too stupid for it to be real. Like, even racism itself is too stupid to be real. I don't give a fuck, but it's just, you can't be serious. I can understand what you're doing to piss leftists off. It totally makes sense to me. I did it with anonymous accounts. Sorry. But it was so weird to realize, wait, you actually believe this? You're not just pissing off leftists. That was holy shit. Yeah, it was insane. And after that, I really didn't care because Trump won. I celebrated, and that's about it. I have no beef with that. Like, the only thing that remained was, what will Trump do with Syria? If the airstrike would continue, I would be pissed. But it was just one time, so good. And it was just one airport, and he did nothing. It feels like he just called the Russians, get out of there. I want to do something to be called. I did something, and that's about it. That's totally not a proxy war with Russia.
No, I agree 100%.
Yeah, it was just like, for America's image, we need to do something. I can totally see that. It's not funding Jabhat al-Nusra. It's not funding other Kurds. It's not getting that deep into it. And when he did his travel campaign all over the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, Israel, and the Vatican, the Holy Trinity tour, he was like kind of saying, we don't seek perfection in allies, and done. That's about it. Oh, there's an Arab dictator that's not totally human rightsy. Yeah, I don't care. Hands off. And that was fucking perfect, because regime change will kill so many people than the 10 guys getting their human rights abused in prison, if you know what I mean.
I couldn't agree with you more. You can't just do a regime change because you feel like it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if there's a people that are screaming for democracy and they respect the principles, the rules of law, and things like that, there's nothing wrong with aiding their opposition. You know, I mean, aiding the opposition that gets them into power. But going to a place like Saudi Arabia and going, hey, well, guess what, guys, we're going to have free elections now. Like, that's not going to work out well. You know, like, the people they elect are going to be 1,000 times crazier than they have right now. You know, and then what do you do?
Yeah, free elections in Saudi Arabia is a disaster. I am kind of glad that the Al Saud family is kind of taking a hold of this insane Salafis apart. Like, I hate Al Saud family. Don't get me wrong, but the Islamic scholars in Mecca, if they're in control, it's all out war. It's all out jihad for real with the American funded military. It's nothing. So when Abdullah when bin Salman started his purge, like the YouTube purge of everyone, I was like, the people he's taking out are assholes too. Like it's so weird because on one hand, I hate Saudi Arabia for a shitload of reasons, and they did shit to us. They took 2 islands, and our economy got fucked because of them, and so a lot of reasons. But if I'm gonna have to choose in a corner again between this insane prince who wants to eliminate all his opposition, and that's his need of power, that's way better than true belief in jihad and Islam of the Islamic scholars of Mecca and Medina. It's nothing. Like, okay, dude, go ahead. Let's just don't start a war with Iran. That's about it.
Yep.
It's just such a depressing thing that's kind of what we're looking at, right? And I really like the distinction of that people say all the time that these countries it's usually like between prison and anarchy, right? Like you almost always have to have like a total authoritarian who cracks down on everything, or you have, crazy Islamic lunacy, like just going wild.
Correction, Steph. To be honest, not everything. You have crackdowns on criticism of the dictator and the government. That's about it.
Yeah,
Other than that, they don't give a fuck. Like, seriously, do these things? They don't care. Like, look what I'm doing. Like, do you think they care? Like, come on. As long as I'm not like bitching about Sisi or whatever. Like, here is the thing that people don't understand when they get news articles from Egypt. Let's say this atheist got arrested. This belly dancer got arrested. This political whatever got arrested. The common between all of these are they bitch about El Sisi, not atheism, not belly dancing, not her tits were out. Nothing. There are other belly dancers with tits out that are pro Sisi. There are other atheists who are pro Sisi. You know what I mean? It's not the crackdown. If I'm gonna compare my freedoms between now and the 1 year of the Muslim Brotherhood, if they passed their fucking constitution in parliament, holy fucking... Do you know that constitution that didn't pass, by the way, that the Muslim Brotherhood wanted, if a girl got into this apartment, I am arrested?
Great. That is insane.
That's literally a law. Like, a female that's not my wife entered my apartment, I am in jail. Like, okay,
not
dictator, please, secular dictator also. I need a secular dictator right now.
Please. Yeah, this is how close are we to the part of the show where you're going, fuck democracy?
But and some other fucked up shit. Like, I'm making jokes about it, but there was a law that would make female genital mutilation legal in hospitals. That's a Muslim Brotherhood.
Yeah,
excellent.
So fuck, like, I know it's anyone who's like a red-blooded, maybe American or pro-freedom or something would definitely say that I'm a cuck and I'm cucking into the government. But I didn't find actually something that I really care about to say fuck Sisi. You know what I mean? Like, I care, of course, and fuck Sisi, but it's. No, it's I will apologize to them later and do whatever they want. But actually, I shouldn't have said that. Right? Fuck it, we're doing it live. I just hope the people listening from state security will listen to the whole stream and would not clip out this one bit and would understand that I am with you guys and I help you in 2013 by reporting all of those brotherhood in Rabaa. Remember, guys? I told you where they are. Huh? I'm with you. You give me stuff, I report terrorists who want to take you down. Deal? Deal. Good. Okay. Now that's off the way. There is like the comparison is insane because I can read a book about what evolution or something. I can stream like this and talk about Islam. Do you think that I could have streamed with you about Islam in Muslim Brotherhood Egypt?
No.
Of course not.
Oh no, this is way better now.
So if the price to pay is Sisi will be president, the coming elections this year are bullshit, and he will stay president. Okay, dude, have fun, take care of your army. Hope you get rid of the ISIS in Sinai, and you don't touch me, I don't touch you. It's like he did a shit to people other than me, but I don't know what to say. It's a cuck move, I understand, but it's a logical cuck move.
No, but I get it. I get it, though. People are we're looking at it from a place where we're used to governments that are not, imprisoning people for, imprisoning people for, I don't know, letting a woman into your apartment. We're used to a world where the alternative is an actual, true, secular, normal government that doesn't have to be so authoritarian. So it's like, it's not, my like thing that frustrates me is that, of course, I hope that doesn't have to be the inevitable end goal. And that's more what I was getting at, that like the inevitable end goal seems to be at this point that the best you get is, governments that can't take criticism and arrest people. And that like, it's depressing that that's the reality. It's not that in this present moment that I disagree with you. Like, I do not want a revolution in Egypt. Sorry.
Exactly.
Keep it there.
Like, seriously, one of the other points that affected me and changed my mind, that I am no longer into revolutions, period. Because even valid revolutions cause more death and harm than the things they were valid for in the first place over here, if you know what I mean. Like, we have a valid cause, a social justice for real, like social justice cause. Because to stop those guys from getting tortured, to stop 12 guys from getting tortured, I don't want to see 20,000 people dead who had nothing to do with it in the middle of the street.
Right.
I just don't.
And I think that makes complete sense. I mean, you have to weigh the cost benefit of anything, and
what I did,
like, also we're not in the time of revolution anymore, because we're in the time where weapons have gotten a lot more deadly. So if you're gonna commit yourself to revolution, then you better be ready to actually back it up, because it's not like back in the day. It's real war. And if you're ready for real war, okay, bring it. But if you're not, then take the best of what you can get.
Remember, if you listen to that talk I did with Steph the last time, I told her about when the police failed to get those Hamas snipers in the apartment. The Egyptian military fucking sent an AC-130 in the air to fucking 55 millimeter the building. We have a protest that has one Hamas guy with a sniper. Okay, the military answer is AC-130. What the fuck? Talk about overkill. Like, you can't. There is no such thing as a people revolution against the military in 2018 in the 21st century. Period. We were lucky because the military didn't wanna side with Mubarak and didn't kill civilians. Only the police did. Not like Syria. Syria, the army was split. It was half Free Syrian Army and half the Alawite Syrian Arab Army to Bashar. Right here, the army was like, fuck it, fuck Mubarak, get him out, let's just find anything else. And if the people chose the Muslim Brotherhood, they will regret it and they will come begging us to return once again. And that's about it. That's period what happened here. So we're lucky because, but if you guys have 5 minutes, if I get into details this, because I think Halsey might be interested.
Go for it.
Oh, I'll be interested. Why do you only assume he'd be interested?
No. You will. And I told you.
Very sexist.
So sexist. See?
Assume a woman wouldn't care.
My toxic masculinity is showing.
I'm sorry. I'll stop being a jerk. Continue.
Steph, you're awesome. You're not a jerk. What happened in
Agreed.
Syria? I have a friend her brother is in the Bashar army. Like I talked to him once. I don't know him that well, but I know her, and he was actually in the Free Syrian Army against Bashar. But the second he saw there are foreign powers assisting the revolution, assisting the rebels. He saw Saudi Arabian money. He saw Saudi Arabian people. Like he saw Libyans, Saudis, Bahrainis inside of Syria fighting for an Islamic fucking state. It was for him no longer pure Syrian revolution. It was influenced by outside forces. In that second, he totally, with his whole battalion, returned back to Bashar, and Bashar al-Assad made that fucking awesome genius move in early 2014, if you remember, when he declared, anyone from the Free Syrian Army wants to return, here is a pardon, and I will sign every single one as if you did nothing wrong. That was a genius move. The second he did that, everyone moved back to Bashar's army. My friend's brother moved back to Bashar's army, and that's about it. But I was telling this story because the foreign thing that pissed him off. He told me if it was even Islamic Syrians, like Syrians who want an Islamic state, he would be fine. He wouldn't have an issue. But it was because the Saudis there that, okay, fuck it, an asshole Syrian is better than Saudis, whatever the cost. So that story didn't happen over here. Our revolution was so quick and only spent 2 months, not 2 years, that outside forces didn't even send money or do anything. So literally the Egyptian army saw just pure Egyptian people. So they didn't do shit and they got rid of Mubarak. That whole story is paradoxical because to someone in the West, if he just needs to support a revolution, he thinks that's justified. The best thing for him to do is not to support that revolution. Because if Obama came out and said, I am with those guys, the Egyptian military will be against those guys, period. And that's a paradox in the Arab Spring and in revolutions in the Middle East in general. What do you think about it, guys?
I totally agree with you. I mean, right now, the idea of taking on the government just for the hell of taking on the government is not something that would work out well for anybody. You know, in the end, it would just lead to a lot of blood and a lot of death. And in the end, you're right. The government will just make a deal with whatever side they feel like is the most dangerous, and that'll be it. You know?
And that's one point where I was during the Green Revolution, not the current Iranian one, the one before, if you remember it.
Yeah.
The points of Obama supporting, I was scared about, because the Revolutionary Guard, if they saw people supported by Americans, all of them will be killed, and I don't want them to be killed. I want them to change something, not to be killed. So it's so weird to be in this position because you guys have to do it on your own, because your own military will turn against you if we support you. That's basically my whole point of this entire rant.
Well, you're right, though. But there's nothing wrong about what you said. Yeah. So, you know, and that's something that American foreign policy doesn't take much into account. You know, is they always think, oh, well, the people will be behind it, the people will be behind it. But they don't know what the people will be behind, you know?
And let's not forget that the people who would be behind it, those people might hate the United States too. Like,
oh yeah,
yeah, you know, like this to America is pretty all around over here. Like, I remember it was so weird because a few of my friends, the only time where they were like, maybe Mubarak would stay during the revolution was like when Obama came out and said Obama must leave. Like, it was just out of spite, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And Halsey, like, if you were here, like, I would introduce you to some groups when you first meet them, you would agree with a lot of shit, but then you will see a sense of like fuck America that will really piss you off. Like, it's not those fucking Arab nationalists. They're not even anti-Semitic or Islamic or religious or anything. They're just
No.
basically they're remaining from the Gamal Abdel Nasser days, but they're different from, like, let's say you appeared right now in downtown. They're having a conversation with you, so they will say you're just a Jew or you're Israeli. They would make that difference. Like, if you're a Jew, you're American Jew, fine. But if you're Israeli, fuck you. Like, it's not anti-Semitism if it's anti-Israeli people. It's not even. I can't even like, if they were Muslims, like if they were like Salafis, they want to kill you either way just because you're Jewish.
Yep.
But to those fucking Arab nationalists, it's not about those fucking Arab nationalists. You know who they hate the most? The Muslims, Israelis. The Arabs,
Really?
the Muslims in Israel, the Israeli Muslims, because those are like the worst. It's not. It's like we have an anti-Semitic group and anti-Israeli group, and the both overlap in the Jews in Israel, but each has his own.
Yeah, the Jews in Israel are just kind of the agreeing point, right?
Of course, Halsey.
Kind of align together.
Fuck those people too, even though I have friends among them, but they would still like make a fight because someone is Israeli. But I think you understand my point that I'd rather those guys than the insane anti-Semitic jihadis.
I mean, that goes without saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be triggered by that. I think that it's like, yeah, it's not ideal, but it's better. It's just funny to me how that like is driven though, that kind of, the Arab nationalist supremacist view versus the Islamic supremacist view, even though I do think there is a lot of overlap, obviously, with a lot of people, which is just the worst of both worlds.
Yeah, the overlap is terrible. The overlap turns against the Shiites, against the Persians, against the Iranians. That's the overlap. Remember, if I made a flowchart of who hates who, we would be here all night long. And I don't want to take much more of your guys' time. And I just want to really thank you for this conversation. Steph, of course, you know how much I love you. And Halsey, thank you so much for having this conversation. Dude, what you're doing right now in debating those guys are awesome. And I'm always there rooting for you. Dude, seriously.
Well,
you're not in the chat. 1488 every 5 seconds.
Yeah. Well, we're scheduling the next one now, so just get ready for some more lunacy. That's for sure.
I'll be waiting, and let's see. And I don't want Bloodsports to be taken off YouTube or anything like that. That. Oh yeah, Jared Holt and his Right Wing Watch article. That was fucking hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't see that.
Steph, did you know that Tonka Saw with his Kumite and his Native American is an alt-right white supremacist engine?
Mm-hmm.
I love how the only reason I know who any of these people are is from like
the crowd
so many Facebook. No, from you.
I explained it.
Explaining the entire. I wouldn't have even. Before Bloodsports, now it's like I understand, but I have the background context on Bloodsports because Omar has like an autistic understanding of all of these things with all these YouTubers like Tonka, and like I had no clue who any of these people are. He's like, so Medicare hates this guy, who hates this guy, who's best friends with this guy. Like, how do you have time to watch all of this?
Oh yeah, no, this is like WWF level drama.
Yeah, seriously, it's hilarious, and I don't really give a shit. It's pure entertainment for me, all the fucking drama. But sometimes it's hilarious.
It's hilarious
because I know people from both sides, and I know this piece of information. I know that Braving Rowan was here in Egypt. I know and it's so fucking hilarious because. Oh my god, where do I even start? But the whole thing when it was going on, I have 10 hours at work. Let's hear everything, and that's when I told you about the thing. But the Right Wing Watch thing was fucking hilarious. You will see it. But thank you, Halsey, for always doing. And I forgot what I was gonna say about the Internet Bloodsports thing. What are you scheduling?
We don't know yet. There's a couple people that they've suggested. There's a couple I've suggested. There's a couple I don't want to debate. I'm not really interested in getting into like a big Israel debate with some conspiracy crackpot.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm kind of staying away from that right now. And we're talking about a few others. There's also a couple I might be getting on for interviews that I really want to talk to. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes from there. But
good luck with that.
Be something in the
Following
next
you on Twitter, just announce everything with your awesome like photoshopped Bloodsports thing, and we're with you. And about that, fucking like, have you seen the leftists on Twitter talking about how Bloodsports is toxic as if you are a victim? They're saying this is weird because if you guys know Halsey, trust me, he wasn't scared when fucking Nick pulled out a knife. He would pull out a gun.
He was
like,
laughing.
are you guys kidding me? Those guys were like saying, "Oh no, there's a white supremacist who pulled out a knife to oppose." Yes, I will link you that tweet. I will link you that tweet. It's hilarious. Like, Halsey, you're so a victim and can't handle yourselves that a guy pulled a knife on camera.
Like
you got to be oppressed and insulted. What the fuck? Do you even know Halsey? Yeah.
He's probably sitting there thinking like, okay, thank you for like really losing this argument, looking like a total idiot.
and one more thing, bold. And one more thing, Steph, before I go, like, trust me, Mitaker has no team. He's not on anyone's side. He wants to steal shit up.
Clarify. I said that. And
I know exactly that he knows exactly what to say to just turn shit up. He was the one who brought out USS Liberty. he doesn't give a shit about Israel or America or the 6-Day War. But he knows that once he pulls out USS Liberty, you and Nick will fight even more.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, that's all he wants. And he literally says this, I want shit to entertain myself. I'm bored. Period. And he's like the one who's escalating everything. He doesn't even have an ideology. His only, I think, to be honest, his only ideology that he truly believes in, he hates he hates pedophiles and he takes them down. Like, he does things that are not fun, and he seriously takes pedophiles online down. Other than that, zero politics.
Good to know.
He's just anti-pedophile.
Yeah. His basic policy is anti-pedophile. You're a pedophile, I'm gonna fuck your life and I'm gonna get you in prison. Other than that, all the white supremacist black people, nigger, whatever, have fun. I wanna see you guys fighting each other. Period.
Basically.
But thank you guys so much for doing this. That's about it. And I can't wait for more Halsey and Steph. I'm talking to you again soon. And that's about it. Anything else, guys?
Nope. Thanks a lot for having us, man. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was, and we did agree about a lot. Seriously, thank you guys so much for doing it, guys. See you soon, and I will be back. Stop broadcast.